I grew up in a Mennonite church, and I go to a Mennonite church now. And we sit on our hands more than we raise them. So it's a good experience to be here with. I think God loves all the ways we worship. So, as Derry said, he was going to leave it to me to tell you how I happened to be here. And can you hear me? I know I don't have a cheerleader's voice.
You sound wonderful.
Oh, thank you. It happened that in January of 2011, my husband Dick and I needed a different car, and we wanted a red car. So I got online and I typed in red Buick near Heston, Kansas. Parks Motors in Augusta came up, as well as some other car dealers, but I used the Parks Motors phone number, and a man answered, friendly, deep voice, engaging. After we talked about the car I saw online, he offered to bring it to Heston for me to see. A couple friend of ours came along. My husband wasn't very able to judge cars at that time, so I had another man to kick the tires and look under the hood. I was just checking out the color of the car. And it was very easy to trust Derry. You probably have that experience, although it's also very easy to be skeptical about used car sales. And I needed someone to trust because Dick, my husband of 45 years, had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2007 at the age of 65. And meeting Derry was one more reassurance I had to know that God was with us. The day Dick and I went to Augusta to look at the red Buick a second time, it was close to lunch. So Dick and I just bypassed Derry, went to Subway, got our sandwiches, and I bought a ham and cheese as a surprise in case Derry hadn't had his lunch. And without any explanation, when I got back and we met Derry again, I said, do you like Subway? And he said, only the ham and cheese.
My wife knows that.
So several years have passed, and Derry and I have stayed in touch. I call him to ask what this noise or knock means, and he suggests a local place to fix it, or he arranges for new tires at a convenient and friendly place. I just have to tell you my car story, which is that the back lights do not always go on. You know, I park the car, I go to get the mail, I come back, one is on and one is off. Now, I hadn't thought about praying. I use my husband's method, which is like this. And you would be surprised how often that works. Do you call these wow? Do I remember that right?
Yes, yes.
So when Derry asked me to share a wow moment in my life, I didn't hesitate. The time living with Alzheimer's disease has also been a time of living a closer dependence on God. My husband Dick was a teacher and a coach and a farmer. And this is the picture of us in 2007 when our daughter was married. Isn't he handsome? He was known for his commitment to a project, his hearty laugh, his orneriness, his love for God, and his love for our family. We have two daughters, one son-in-law, and one granddaughter. My husband Dick died on January 26, 2014. And I've tried to find and share God's goodness through his disease and through his death. Many of you may also be affected by this disease. The numbers show that women are more likely to have the disease. A woman's risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, even at age 65, is 1 in 6. And for men, it is 1 in 11. Tonight, I want to tell you about our living and loving beyond the statistics. Most of my life, I have sought God. When I was 11, I gave my heart to a God of love, probably in the image of a white-skinned, brown-haired, blue-eyed being who looked something like my gentle dad. Now I'm 67, and in the last 56 years, I've experienced God in many ways that erase that physical image. I still know a God of love, but now more with grown older perspectives and grown-up mistakes. It is helpful for me to learn by hearing specific examples that I can grasp, and so I've gathered some from my years of living with Dick to give to you. The last 13 years he was being treated for Alzheimer's disease, even though he wasn't actually diagnosed until 2007. I have labeled my examples bridges. A way of moving my awareness from where I am alone to where God is beside me. Sometimes this is done with my effort and my intention, and sometimes when my need erases any barrier. My plan this evening is to list 8 bridge planks that have been helpful to me in being aware of God. You know that the formidable surprise in Dick and my life was not a desirable one, not acceptable in any way. Our choice lay not only in the diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease, but also in our attitude about the diagnosis. At first, I didn't realize the extent of what this disease could mean. It was too much to face or to fathom. There were so many methods recommended to try to stop and slow the disease. We could deny the lack of improvement for a while, praying something would help. Then there was acceptance that these methods weren't changing the disease progression. So the first bridge that I noted is words of comfort. Dick and I went to therapists at Prairie View in Newton, Kansas. One was for the 2 of us to sort out our options, because he was still very aware and able to help. Another was for me, as a new caregiver, to have professional support. It was comforting to lay out our situation for someone with objectivity to see and reflect. Later, an artist featured at a local college chapel service was an unexpected source of comfort. She had her clay and her tools. She was talking and paralleling her work to life. And she said to the audience, "To me, you have the tools you need." I was reassured that through this young sculptor, God was speaking to me. You have the tools you need. A comfort scripture that I found at the right time is Deuteronomy 31:8. It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. So a second bridge is sharing joy. We chose, after exhausting many therapies, to travel, seeing loved ones, Dick's 5 sisters and my 1 sister, our extended families and friends in other states. These visits were so enriching. Dick got to eat fresh fish, and I delighted in a candlelight spa that his sister provided. Our loved ones were filled with joy for Dick, and Dick shared what he could, which was often a knee-slapping laugh. God was with us at airports, finding family bathrooms just in time, sometimes in out-of-the-way hallways. We never missed a connection, though it wasn't easy, because there was no hurrying Dick. And we went to Alaska on a cruise to celebrate our 40th wedding anniversary, actually on our 42nd anniversary. And here we had fun, seeing near Juneau a wet bear cub snatch a silvery salmon. It had been a constant phrase. Dick would say, "I want to see a bear, I want to see a bear." Well, you know, you just can't produce a bear. But we did finally see one. I think that was a God thing. And then I have to tell you about a frightening time. I know God was with us in the middle of the night because Dick wandered out of our cabin and I was asleep, but I woke up to knocking. The steward was standing there in the deserted, endless hallway with Dick, who obviously had no identification, as a, does he belong here? You know, I just shudder to think if he'd wandered far and no one would have found him. So a third bridge is tears. When I am feeling most vulnerable and can cry, and you all must just be a wonderfully empathetic group, because I don't cry so easily with unknown people. But I can feel comforted and know that God is present. After all, God made tears. Studies show that tears differ in composition based on their cause. Studies show that emotional tears shed stress hormones and toxins. So tears can be cleansing, a mystery God put in us for healing. And a fourth bridge is people. There were the realizations that, oh, you can't safely drive with the implements or even the tractor, or fix a fence on the farm, and can't hunt with a gun. So God help me. We need to move off the farm. The God bridge that helped was people. I'm sure that the humans that came were sent by God. There were cousins who helped organize our farm sale, a stranger who sorted the many cans and nails and tools and wires in the barn, an old friend who turned into a realtor, a friend who safely took Dick to the pasture during deer hunting season. And our daughters came often. Christine and her family live in Arizona, and Mara lives in North Carolina. But they wanted to interact with their dad as long as they could, and they wanted to be sure to give me advice to stay healthy. Rihanna, our granddaughter, was born in 2007, and as she grew, she wanted to be sure Grandpa didn't forget her. The weeks before Dick died, scripture passages from Psalm 139 kept coming to me. One was from my financial advisor, and the next one was from a chaplain where Dick was living in Mount Ridge at the Pine Village. And the words they said, finding out that Dick was worse, Lord, you have searched me, and you know me. And so as I heard that, and I was telling Nurse Nancy about it, who was then our hospice nurse, she paraphrased Psalm 139, so that if it's someone with dementia, and that's what you have. So I just would like to read it, and if you have your Bibles, you can also look at Psalm 139 and see how they differ. And I would have to say that it's paraphrased for, as it says, victims of dementia. But when you love someone with dementia, you are also a victim. So it applies to many, many people. Oh God, I am lost in the cloud of my mind, but you understand my thoughts buried within me. I wander, pace without direction, and can't control what my body does. You know my heart, my inner core, who I really am. Though I cannot communicate with words, you know all I want to say. I am yearning, searching to find myself, some way to connect. I want to ask, do you know me? God replies with a quiet comfort, reassuring, I know you. I am frantic, I'm lost, I search all hours of the day. You are always with me, beside me, a calm presence in my chaos. Once in a while, I can clear through the fog and make a connection. Other times, hopelessly lost. But you have your arms around me every step of my life journey. At times, I feel no one can possibly love me. I am too buried in my disease. I am in complete darkness alone. But there you are, sitting beside me. I remember now, you were there when I was a child, held in my mother's arms. So much promise and love. You were the one that made me. I was perfect, whole, and free. I took all of that for granted, even when the disease began to seep and overtake my mind. You still loved me, in spite of all you knew, my life's journey, so unfathomable to me. You still traveled with me in my walk. My whole being wants to explode with how you care and love me. Your presence within even me, this can't be measured. No matter what I do outwardly, you are within my core that can't be touched by the disease. Why can't I be free from the chains of my mind? This disease overwhelms me. This is not the path I chose. But then my mind comes back to you in my weariness, having you here beside me, within me. This is all that matters. I am still. And then this is a picture of Dick at Christmas time, December the first weekend, 2013. And I think he seems calm and serene. Well, I can't say that I took pictures of when he wasn't, but this is how I remember knowing that God was with him. So now I want to go to the fifth bridge, which is one of music. The psalmist invites us in Psalm 95, "Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us come before him with thanksgiving and extol him with music and song." There it is, with thanksgiving. My heart is full of thanksgiving when I think of the song, "Now Thank We All Our God," that was sung at our wedding. And each house we moved into, I played it on the piano, and then I would call to Dick wherever he was, and I'd say, "Do you remember this song?" And he soon learned to say, "It must be the one from our wedding." I looked for a little background about that song. It was written in 1636 during the 30 Years' War in Germany, a time of violence and disease. And the pastor who wrote it sometimes conducted 40 funerals a day. So surely I can sing it. You know. Dick continued to like music. He had a way of humming even as the disease became severe. And the staff at the Alzheimer's unit where he lived in Mountain Ridge, Kansas, told me he made music all day, and surely God was listening. Prayer is another bridge, number 6, to knowing God. When we first moved to our home in Heston, I was in a dark room with only a small lamp, looking for a hymn, then feeling these words. I can't say that I hear God's words, I just sensed, felt. The nudge was so clear. You are not alone. I felt warm and secure. I knew God's nearness and that God would be with me in everything. And when there is anxiety and loneliness pooling around me, I step in my memory to that place of prayer. The number 7 is touch. And Luke 7 is a story of a woman who had lived a sinful life. She wets Jesus' feet with her tears and wipes them with her hair. She pours perfume on his feet. Jesus says, her many sins have been forgiven as her great love has shown. Her touch shared love. And when I put lotion on Dick's feet and his hands, I combed his hair, I cologned his face, I thought of Jesus' reflections on love. And that was one way that he could understand my love for him, because words weren't always so clear to him. So that brings me to the bridge of silence, number 8. I think silence has a sweet sound. It's symbolic of the Sabbath that God put into creation. And during the silence of my quiet time, I often do the examine, which is a tool for reflection. And I'm going to give you copies. I hope I made enough. They're the same, and just pass them down. Because I think it's a neat way to kind of guide your thinking about how to use silence and know that God is responding to you. So, on the paper, these questions. And you can just write it out. Short, long, whatever comes to you. When were you most aware of God's presence? For what are you most grateful? For what are you least grateful? What has been most life-giving? And what has taken life out of you? What would you like to ask of God? What promises does God give? So during this time of silence, I have stepped closer to God's power and further from my own insecurities. So that's some of the story and some of the bridges, how this disease and death has helped me know God better. You may want to think of your bridges to God. Before I stop talking, I'd like to give you a blessing with my Saint Teresa. It was given to me, and it has meant so much. May today there be peace within. May you trust God that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities born of faith. May you use those gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content knowing you are a child of God. Let God's presence settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing. So that's what I have for you. And if you want to ask me some questions.
What's in the box?
Oh. Dare you would. Okay, this has to do with Dick's favorite nutritional food. Green vegetables, red vegetables.
Can you just repeat the first two bridges real quick? She wants to write them down.
Oh, okay.
Not to put her out there or anything, but it's her.
Which one first?
Yeah, the first two bridges.
First bridge is the first and the second.
Stop bringing candy.
Did you hear? Words of comfort,
You didn't want one?
Yeah, I got one.
and then sharing joy.
I like the best.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to share? Just off the cuff, anything? Anybody have any questions for her?
I just want to say that was absolutely powerful.
Amen.
I guess what I would share is that sometimes when you're faced with these difficulties, you think, why is this here? And we all have, everybody has their own challenge and frustration at what has come. But I thought, disease may have meant it for bad, God meant it for good. And then how do I share that? So,
Amen.
it's not hard to realize that it can come from bad.
Amen.
Amen.